Hi, everyone. Welcome to our webinar today. I'm Bam, Product Marketing Manager, joined today with Amadeus, our VP of Marketing.
Hello, nice to do our first webinar together.
Yeah, finally. And I think I'm really excited to be discussing our latest feature clips today. So, a little bit about our agenda today. We'll talk about the shift from a marketing channel to core user experience, vertical video as the experience layer, the role of community-led video versus creator-led, and of course, use cases across industries. And to get started, we all know that short form video has completely taken over our daily lives. And I'm sure everyone here has had that moment where you open TikTok or Instagram just to check one thing, and suddenly 30 minutes have gone by, if not hours. And that's become the reality of how people discover, learn, and even shop now. So it's quite massive, and you can tell by the numbers like around 90% of consumers say they watch short form videos on their phone every day. TikTok alone has more than 2 billion monthly active users, and they're the second largest e commerce platform in Southeast Asia. And on average, people are spending 30 to 50 minutes per session across platforms like TikTok, Reels, and Snapchat. And by the end of 2025, which is this year, more than 82% of the online content is expected to be video, with short form leading the way. And even on Google search, I don't know if anyone has noticed, but there's a dedicated tab just for short form videos on top of videos and images tabs. So it has really become a core format in how we consume media. So this isn't just a marketing format anymore. It's becoming the way people experience content, connect with each other, and make decisions, which is why today we want to talk about the shift from treating short form as just a marketing channel to making it a part of the core user experience. So Amadeus, I'm curious, like from your perspective, why do you think it's so powerful when brands bring this type of format inside the app instead of relying on external platforms?
So I think to start with, as it says here in the slide, right? So TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat now has their short form video, right? Any of these social platforms, they're really built to capture this attention for themselves and for you to continue to scroll. They want you to stay on the platform, and their video is really to engage you to just continue to scroll. And as a company, like these platforms are still great to reach new customers, right? So you might get visibility, but you don't really get any depth. Like you, the behavior really lies in the external platform, and that platform owns the relationship and not really you. If there's an algorithm change happening, next week, that can take your reach and your visibility down by 50%. So it's the platform controlling that kind of experience and not you. But then also, these platform and short form video now, we're so used to it as consumers. So apps also need to bring this kind of experience into the apps. So it is not about doom scrolling or really, just having people continue to scroll, because you often have a different goal in your app. But you can take part of that engagement into your own app, and then you can also collect the first party data. You will see what really drives intent, what videos are people watching, what videos are people skipping. You also, as a brand, control the context of how videos will be shown, and you can also clearly connect the dots to the customer journey as well. So it's completely different, really, I think, short form video in app to short form video from the big social media platforms. But it is taking that parts of that behavior and part of that experience that I think we all love. I love the short form video experience. You know, I will go on TikTok or Instagram Reels and be stuck there for 30 minutes. So that experience you can also bring into your own app and its own engagement. So it also compounds, right? Especially if you allow users to upload their own videos. All of this content then also becomes your content for new users that will come later, and it will become, you know, if it's related to products or a service. So if you also open up the UGC related aspect of short form video, you will also as a company be able to collect all of this content as well and for future use.
Right. And it's like really about taking the behavior that consumers are so used to and they actually really like and adapting it and aligning it to the goal of your app and adapting this very mass or new type of format that we've seen in social media. So I think that's exactly why we built Clips. Essentially, Clips is a vertical full screen swipeable video format, like the kind of experience that people already, you guys really already know, like on TikTok Reels or YouTube Shorts, but it's adjusted to your own app experience. So with Clips, users can create short form videos directly in the app. They can watch those clips in a smooth swipeable feed or whatever format you choose to adapt to your own experience. They can also react and engage, whether that's likes, comments, and clips can be shown anywhere from your global feed within specific communities and also within your profile section, depending on how you tailor the experience. So, overall, that's the foundation of clips. You can create, watch, engage, and share all natively inside your app from the consumer end. And you, as the app developer, have the control of where and how you would utilize this type of short form video. So I think it's much easier to see than to describe. So I will show you a quick look into what clips look like in action. So as you can see here, you can see clips throughout your global feed and you can directly interact with it. You can like, comment, view it from original post, or even go to a clips dedicated feed where there's endless amount of swipeable short form videos. And you can even discover short form videos or clips that you've uploaded within your own profile. There's a dedicated clip section there.
And this is all
So,
our UI kit.
yes, yeah, it's a part of our UI kit as well. So that's a quick look at how clips works inside the app. Is there anything else to add, Amadeus, here?
No, I think you know, it would be interesting now to continue and go into some some use cases because um, as you said, like short form video can be used in many different ways. So
Mm,
it will be interesting to discuss some specific use cases. Some they are not industry specific, but we have prepared some examples that that might fit certain industries.
yeah, and I know that for a lot of brands, the first reaction is that, and Amadeus, you might have already covered this, but people might be wondering like, will this be just another endless feed? What if we don't have enough content or it doesn't feel like it's the experience that we want to give our users? What do you think about those concerns? Do you think we're just recreating TikTok or Reels?
No, I think that's a big like misconception in a way, right? So one thing is the experience about, you know, swiping videos and how you display videos in the app, you know, full screen with comments and with reactions and like all of what that is. But I think for most of our customers and companies that we're working with, it is not about cloning a TikTok or Reels experience. For some customers, it might be, but really, the goal of social media platforms is to, you know, keep you continue scrolling, showing you as many ads as possible, just keeping you engaged on the platform, right? And for many of our customers, the end goal is, something different. It is selling a product or selling a course or something related to fitness, right? So that is the end goal. So then you don't want your users to just endlessly scroll on your app. So you can, with this experience, build more, let's say, purposeful like experiences, right? So these are just three very basic like use cases or part of the journey. So one way to use it right is to use it for educational onboarding content. So here on the left, right, we have a UI where, okay, you come into the community for the first time and you can use the clips or vertical video experience to have 10 different onboarding videos, for example, that users should watch and go through. So it's a much more like engaging experience than maybe reading these things in a post. In the middle, we have more. This is maybe a little bit more similar to like a TikTok or Reels experience, but it's something more. Here's a travel company as an example, and it's really about discovering different. It might be flights or trips or hotels, etc., in a more like Pinterest style format, right? So really getting an overview and really having a visual feed with videos. Another use case on the right here, in a fitness app, for example, if you have certain courses, you can use clips as one like clips feed for, let's say, a specific course with 14 videos, and use that as like one kind of fixed feed that ends, so it's not endlessly scrolling, but you can use that for, in this case, workouts with body weights in a specific group. So these are use cases that are very different from just having one global feed with an algorithm that makes the users continue to scroll.
Yeah, and I really think it's the goal that you have for your brand. And you should really think about what kind of experiences you'd like to bring out for this feature or format, right? And uh, to look even further, and I think it's really exciting because we're already seeing this play out in different industry actually. Maybe the examples before were more focused on different user journey, but if we were to paint some colors or give an example for a specific industries, uh, you can see here we have three examples.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and to go in a little bit into that, and this is also a bit related to the worry of, how do we get our users or customers to post, right? So it doesn't have to be just a pure upload a clip. So you need to still guide the user, right? So in the first example here, let's say that you're a beauty company or an e-commerce company, right? You can have specific clips that are built out. So in this case, you post your haul. I've never done a beauty haul. Maybe you have them, but I know it's a big thing to show everything you bought, right? So here you can potentially, as a company, combine. Okay, upload a video of everything that you bought, and then also tag all of the products that are in this haul. So you create kind of like a template for, okay, what should the clip be? And you set a very specific format of what users should post. When it comes to fitness, this really relates to any industry, but then you can also use this, and similar to if someone uploads a haul, then you show the video, and then you can combine this with like shoppable product cards so that you can have that conversion happening, right on the video. Another similar use case here in travel would be, related to earning loyalty points. So also to motivate your users and customers to post. This is not only for clips, but it's a way to do it right. So by uploading a clip, you receive certain points. You also have a clear template for, you know, how to write the post, and then at the end you also have, tagging different locations of everywhere that you went, right?
Mhm.
So this is also a way to give your user a clear template to really show them how they should make a post, and then also give them some incentive for it, because this content will be very valuable for you as a platform.
Yeah, and with the last example for the travel industry, you can see here that if we actually work backwards and say, okay, I think my app really need to amp up our loyalty game, then once you start working backward from that goal, I think the use cases become clearer, or how you apply clips and so on is more clear.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point to really go back to, what is the goal? And you can define so many different goals, and you can use clips as one feature, but to solve many of these different goals that you might be having.
Yeah, and oopsie, okay. And I know we already laid out that, okay, it's really important to think about your goals and see how clips or short form videos can really apply to your app. But we've also created, a simple face approach, so that for people who are wondering, like, okay, where exactly do I start if I've never had short form video inside my app? Like, how do you actually roll it out, right, without feeling overwhelming? And I think the key here is that you don't need to launch a massive feed from day one. Uh, you can simply start with, let's say, step one, pilot, which is where you choose one surface where clips can make an immediate difference. Maybe onboarding if churn is high, or discovery feed if exploration is where you want to improve. So the idea here, like we've said before, is to pick a goal, start small, and you learn quickly from it. And once the pilot is live, you need to spark engagement. And that means by leading by example, whether it's your team or creators posting the first clips to set the tone, you either lowering the barrier with simple interaction like likes or polls, and nudging users with prompts like you've seen on the previous slides, or templates, so it feels natural to join in. And from there, it's about activation. It's about highlighting the best contributions, best contributors, give recognition to people who are, posting more on clips. And you can also encourage utility content like reviews in video form or Q&A replies that drives the real value there. And this is where, we can begin building habits and encourage users to really adopt clips. And lastly, this is where the fun begins. You finally expand your journey. This is where you'll be rolling out clips to multiple touch points across the journey, across different goals, like we've said, throughout onboarding, discovery, and repeat engagement. And at this stage, you can also start layering monetization, whether that's choppable clips or branded challenges. So that's the journey, or the phase journey or approach we recommend. And overall, to recap, is that you start with a pilot, you spark engagement, you activate your users, and then you expand across the experience. And I think this approach keeps things simple and manageable instead of trying to launch everything at once. Amadeus, do you have any comments or any thoughts on why do you think this could really set brands up for success?
No, I think just as you said, right, and it really depends on the brand. Um, I think for clips, but even like for any social feature, there's not really, a one fits all, really. Like every product has a different, whether it's like a friction point or a growth opportunity. So like as we showed before, right? So if you're struggling with onboarding and people understanding how to use your app, use clips as an education layer as your first use case. Or, if it is about conversions, yeah, bring videos to the product page to have other customers showcasing the real product and what they have used. We have some real case use cases later from real apps that has recently launched clips. So that is also another thing where, and we see it a lot in Asia as well, with um, putting both videos and images like really into the review section and in the product sections. And if retention is more of the focus, yeah, then maybe you should go for something that is more like a discoverable feed, or a feed based on algorithms, and more exploring different styles of content to retain people in the app. But start easy, start with a simple use case, and then build from there. I think is the best way to approach it.
Right. And I'm just asking for a friend here. Uh, what if all these stages or like goals, what if it feels like all of these goals matter just as much as they're on the same level? Uh, what kind of goal should we start with first?
I think first of all, it's easy to integrate with us, so you can try try different kind of things. Um, but I mean, it all comes down to priority. Our the companies we work with and our customers as well, they have different priorities in their product roadmaps, and they have different priorities from business. So it is a very tough question to answer. But with our UI kit, and not heavily customizing it and staying within those boundaries, that also makes it quick to launch and quick to test different kind of use cases. So I think just testing the experience with your user, gathering the feedback from them, when it comes to launching these new features, and then just roll it out in different experiences.
Wait, that's right. Because I think the key there was one, testing, and one, learning from the feedback, learning from your users. I think that's what's matter most. So
And also, with comments, with reactions, and all of these things that are already built into the videos themselves, with our AI insights, it is also very easy to understand the sentiment of these new features. And for companies as well, it will be very easy for them to look at time spent in app and other things, and seeing how clips potentially impact those metrics positively.
right, and on the insights portion, you could also like think about the trending topics and see how you could further push that kind of content in forms of clips as well. So I think that's a really, really good point. Yeah, and I think we've talked about like trying to see the content, trying to set up lead by example. But I don't think we could really stop there. So I like to talk about the differences between brand or creator-led content and community-led content. So here, if you really think about it, brand and creator-led content really helps you to reach at scale. It helps with campaigns, and you can really see the trends. So here it's about spark, right? But with community-led, it really drives trust. It's always on, and it's intent driving. It helps with decision making. And overall, I think both are really good conversation starters. They're good for engagement. And but the key here is to really have a balance between both, because once you have spark, you help your content reach at scale, or your engagement reach at scale. You start seeding trends and having people in your community contributing to clips and short form videos. More people are more encouraged to contribute to the community. So it makes your community or app much more alive.
Yeah, I think the most important thing here is also a little bit from like a timeline perspective, because
Right.
you cannot just launch clips and then expect users to post. So you need to do two things in most use cases, right? So one thing is really what we're talking about here, right? The spark. So having content going out from your own brand, or potential, creators or power users that you as a company identify, because you need to spark that initial, you know, video upload and creation that then will lead to engagement and really setting an example. Uh, for community-led content, on some platforms it might happen, very naturally. But I think also on some platforms, companies really need to think, okay, how can we incentivize this content creation? Whether it's, with some kind of rewards program or loyalty points, or setting up easy to use templates with an incentive, for example, after they have purchased a product, leaving a review and having a clear template of what that should be, and then putting that review on the product page. Um, so really guiding the user also to post, and then of course it will grow more naturally and organically. Different kind of communities will have different challenges with this, but it is very important, I think, to both lead by example, educate the users, and have different like set education or templates of, what are we posting here? What kind of videos? What do you get out of posting something? For some platforms, it will be similar to the big social platforms that you get the dopamine kick of the engagement and the comments, right? And for some companies in some industries and users, that will be enough. But then for some industries, you need to push the user more and have maybe a more templated approach to push them to upload clips.
Yeah, and I also think it's a matter of what type of community or brand experience you're trying to drive, because in some type of app or experience you might want the community to set the tone, but let's say with the spark or creator led, you can use that to control the type of conversation or really set the tone of how you want the experience to be like.
And in some communities or in some apps, it doesn't have to be specifically in communities, because
Mhm.
I think you can, we have talked about product pages and other things, so it doesn't need to be purely related to a community. But in some apps and for some companies, they might not want the UGC aspect. It might be, solely like brand and creator led. So that is also another use case. It's more to make sure that there's enough content to be published then from the brand and creator led side to, you know, so that it makes sense to have it in the app.
Right. And with that, let's look at some of the that real world example that they're incorporating short form videos or clips into their app. Here you can see Uber Eats having a full screen swipeable format where people can share recipes or dishes, or Insta 360 where, you know, people who uses Insta 360 camera can share some of their footage. And lastly, ESPN, which have just announced this week or last week that they're incorporating vertical video as part of their new app launch.
Yeah, I think ESPN, they launched this, they call it Verts.
Right. Yeah.
They launched it just a week ago. And one thing that I read this article about them launching it, and one thing that was interesting was that in July 2025, so ESPN's YouTube channel, which is massive, I think it's the fourth biggest in the US from the big like network stations.
Mhm.
66% of the content that they uploaded to YouTube was shorts. And they have a lot of long form content, but they're pushing a lot of this short format content on YouTube. So I think this is just a natural, evolution within their own app, that they have seen that, okay, on YouTube and other social platforms, short form content is performing a lot better than long form content.
Mhm.
So let's bring that into our app instead. Let's bring that same experience, because this short form content is obviously more engaging than long form content.
Oh, it's really cool that it's like they've kind of done their testing
Yeah,
on this big platform.
I think Insta360 is also a really cool use case. It's very natural for them because they're a camera company, basically, right? They're known for 360 cameras, and that's their big thing. So it's natural for them to have a feed in the app. So in this app, you can both edit your content, and you upload it, and you manage all of your content in this app from your own camera. But it's very natural for them to have the feed, and it works very well also as like a marketing tool. So they release new products every 6 months or 12 months. I personally have an Insta360 camera that is 2 or 3 years old. So every time I go into this feed and I see people creating new cool videos with the newer equipment and just the capabilities that the new cameras have, or what they do with different kind of accessories. Like as a motorbike rider, there are different kinds of like attachments that you can put to your motorbike. So this is also just a great way for the users to showcase the content, tagging the products that they are using. And me as a customer with a 2-3-year-old product, I will see the capabilities of all of the newer models, and I'll be much more inclined to upgrade because I'm exposed to this content. So it's just also a free channel when it comes to marketing and showcasing the new products also for Insta360 and the community.
Wow. And like the natural upsell is crazy. And I like how it's not pushy, but
It's not pushy because it's from users, and so me as an Insta360 camera owner, I get multiple benefits of this feed, right? So it might be, okay, how do people edit videos? What are they doing, with the same capabilities that I have, but then also seeing the capability of new products. And I know that they are launching drones soon. So that is going to be another thing and another vertical that is going to come in. So it's just this feed of showcase after showcase of what cool things you can do with the product. And I'm sure that it makes a lot of people also upgrade to new products.
Wow, amazing.
And I think, yeah, just to mention a few things on Uber Eats. So I think I've read an article on that as well. And one thing that was interesting was that they said they did some early tests on this. I think they launched it last year. And they did some early tests. And one thing that they found out was that customers ordering from Uber Eats, they were a lot more confident in trying new dishes just from seeing it in the video format, because you see the real food. Normally, when you go to a restaurant, it's small pictures and you don't really see what it is, and there is only one picture per dish. And then another thing was a good feedback that they got was that customers could really see the portion sizes, because that is also normally not something that that you see just from the small product image. So those are things you wouldn't really think of, and that's some like valuable feedback also. But when you bring this video format, you get a whole new dimension to what you can show as a restaurant in the Uber Eats app.
So it seems like it's not only the app or Uber Eats that's benefiting from this type of short form video, but also merchants who are
And right now I think it's only merchants that can upload to their like restaurant profile. then connect it to a dish or to a product. So merchants they don't have to pay for it, so it's not like an ad. They're not running it as ads. It's just part of like the product media. And so merchants are getting benefits from it, Uber Eats are getting benefits from it, and the customers are getting benefits from it.
Wow. So you really, I think from all these use cases, they all have very distinctive and unique way of using clips. And I hope this is like an inspiration for all of you to really start thinking about how you can incorporate short form videos inside your apps. What kind of goals do you have? And yeah, I think maybe we can give it up to the floor for anyone who has a question, or do you have anything else to add?
No, I think we covered most of it, and I would love to do a new session in a few months when we also have some of our customers launching it and showcasing what they are building with it. But really, like the use cases are endless in a way, and they're very different from industry to industry or company to company. But I do believe that clips is one of the features that it's very easy to find use cases for it, whether it's because you can have both the brand and creator-led content angle, more like Uber Eats, where it's like only merchants that they are not really the end users of the app, right? Pushing out the content. Insta360 is only content from the users, and then ESPN, you have only content from ESPN, so from the company itself. So actually, in this use case, we have three very different of these companies. We have three very different use cases where the content is really coming from different sources in the application, and that will be the same for every industry. That there are different use cases that suits better than others.
Yeah, and in a way, even though like consumers or users are already used to the swipeable, endless doom scrolling feed, apps can really reinvent and make use of this really powerful feature and format. So I'm excited to see down along the line in a few months how our clients are, coming up with unique and very interesting use cases. Yeah,
Awesome.
awesome. Any questions? Anyone before we wrap up? Okay, seems like there's no question today. I think I really enjoyed our first webinar together, Amadeus. I think I learned a lot, even just the ESPN part was really cool to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah.
And let's do this again in 2-3 months with a follow-up to on clips.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, reach out to our team, anyone. We'd love to chat with all of you as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.